It's 11:47 p.m. when the video hits her phone. Someone she trusted recorded something private, and now it's everywhere. Her name is trending. Screenshots multiply faster than she can process them. By morning, thousands of strangers have an opinion about her. Some are furious, some are gleeful. A few are already typing the words that will follow her for years. The kind of comments that don't just judge a moment, they judge a person. She shows up to work anyway, because hiding isn't actually an option when your face is already everywhere. And that's where they're waiting, not just online anymore, but in person. A crowd, phones already recording, ready to see what happens when she has to face this in real time. Someone in the crowd says what everyone's thinking. She deserves whatever's coming. Heads nod. Phones stay up, recording, waiting for the moment worth posting. And then someone else walks into the middle of it. Not defending what she did. Not pretending it didn't happen. He crouches down, writes something in the dust on the ground with his finger, and says one sentence that changes the entire energy of the crowd. Let the one among you without sin cast the first stone. One by one, starting with the oldest, people lower their phones and walk away. Nobody records the ending. Nobody posts about it. The crowd that was ready to destroy her in public quietly disappears, and she's left standing there, still ashamed, but no longer surrounded. That's not a scene from this year. That's a retelling of something that actually happened, recorded in John chapter 8. Jesus, a group of religious leaders, and a woman they dragged in front of a crowd specifically to trap him and shame her at the same time. The setting was different. The mechanism, public exposure, a crowd ready to judge, a woman facing consequences alone while the people involved with her disappeared, is almost identical to what happens online every single day now. Here's a detail that gets skipped constantly in this story. The law they were using against her required two people to be caught in the act. John 8 says she was caught in the act of adultery, which means there was, by definition, another person involved. He's never brought forward. He's never named. He walks away from this story completely untouched, while she stands alone in front of an entire crowd. This is exactly how modern public shaming tends to work too. One person becomes the face of the moment, absorbing all of the consequence, while everyone else involved quietly disappears from the story. The crowd doesn't actually want justice in these moments. It wants a target. Here's the bold claim. If you've ever felt like you carried the full weight of a mistake that wasn't fully yours to carry alone, a shared failure where you became the visible one, this story was recorded with you specifically in mind. Practical idea. If there's a shame you've been carrying that was never fully yours alone to hold, name that honestly today, even just to yourself. Not to excuse anything you did wrong. To stop carrying a weight that was never entirely yours in the first place. But even for what actually was her responsibility, what Jesus does next reframes the entire situation. Jesus doesn't argue that she's innocent. He doesn't say the law is wrong. He says one sentence that does something far more surgical. It turns the crowd's attention from her sin to their own. Let the one among you without sin cast the first stone isn't Jesus dismissing consequences. It's Jesus exposing the truth every crowd tries to hide from itself in these moments. That the people most eager to throw stones rarely examine their own record before picking one up. Public shame moves fast specifically because it lets people feel righteous without ever turning that same scrutiny inward. Here's the bold claim. The loudest voice calling for someone's public destruction is very often the person most avoiding a private reckoning of their own. Practical idea. The next time you feel the pull to pile onto someone's public mistake, online, in a group chat, anywhere, pause and ask yourself Jesus' exact question first. Am I without sin here? Or am I just currently unexposed? Let that be the filter before you add your voice to the pile. But this story isn't only a warning to the crowd. It's also, directly, a promise to her, and to you, if you're the one who's been exposed. Once the crowd disappears, Jesus asks her directly, "Has no one condemned you?" She answers, "No one, Lord." And Jesus says, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on sin no more." Notice the order. He doesn't say, "Stop sinning, and then I won't condemn you." The forgiveness comes first, completely unearned, before any change has happened. The freedom isn't a reward for fixing herself. It's the starting point that makes any real change possible at all. Here's the bold claim. If you've been waiting to feel like you've earned the right to stop carrying shame, Through enough time, enough proof you've changed, enough punishment absorbed. This story shows the opposite order entirely. Forgiveness comes first. Change grows out of that, not the other way around. Practical idea. If there's a specific shame you've been holding on to, as if you haven't suffered enough yet to be free of it, say this out loud today, as if standing exactly where she stood. No one condemns me, not even him. Let that be true before you feel like you've earned it, the same way it was true for her. There's one more layer to this story worth sitting with. What it means that Jesus wrote something in the dust, and nobody knows what it said. Scholars have guessed for centuries what Jesus wrote in the dirt. The sins of the accusers, a verse of scripture, nothing significant at all. The text never tells us, and that's likely the point. What matters isn't the specific words. What matters is what the act itself did. It bought silence and time and space for the crowd to actually think instead of just react. Sometimes the most powerful response to a pile-on isn't a counter-argument. It's a pause that lets people's own conscience catch up with their momentum. Jesus didn't lecture the crowd into leaving. He gave them room to see themselves clearly, and they left on their own. Practical idea. The next time you're caught in the middle of a moment of public or private shame, yours or someone else's, look for the version of writing in the dust. The pause. The moment of silence instead of immediate reaction. It rarely feels as satisfying as a sharp comeback, but it tends to do far more actual work. Let's bring the modern story and the ancient one back together. If you've ever been the one standing alone while others involved disappeared from the story, that imbalance was never lost on God, even when it felt invisible to everyone else. If you've ever picked up a stone, online or in person, this story asks you to check your own record before you throw it. And if you're carrying a shame you haven't let go of because you don't feel like you've earned forgiveness yet, the order in this story says you never had to earn it in the first place. That woman walked into a crowd expecting to be destroyed and walked out carrying something she didn't walk in with. Neither do I condemn you. Whatever your version of that crowd looks like, the group chat, the comment section, the shame you carry alone at night, the same sentence is available to you today. This week, if you're holding shame that isn't fully yours, or shame you've decided you haven't suffered enough to be released from, bring it honestly to God, exactly where you are. If this message spoke to you today, subscribe. We keep talking about what really matters here every week. And if you know someone standing in the middle of their own crowd right now, send them this message today.